Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nightmare Nexus, where the darkness comes alive with spine-chilling stories and eerie tales that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Before beginning, please hit the subscribe button to never miss out on new stories. Today, we will talk about two disturbing true New Year horror stories. Our first story is The Silent Guest. Let's get started. New Year's Eve is a time for celebration, laughter, and creating memories. For Rachel and her friends, it was supposed to be just that. They had rented a remote cabin in the woods to welcome the new year away from the city's noise. The cabin was cozy, nestled deep in a snowy forest, and came with a rustic charm that seemed perfect for a quiet, yet festive getaway. The group of five arrived on December 31st carrying champagne, board games, and enough snacks to last a week. The first evening was filled with laughter as they reminisced about the past year. The plan was simple: stay up until midnight, watch the fireworks on TV, and toast to the new year. As the clock approached 11:30 p.m., Rachel decided to step outside for a moment to enjoy the crisp air. The snowfall had stopped, leaving the ground blanketed in untouched white. She stood on the porch, watching her breath puff out in small clouds when something caught her eye. Faint footprints leading from the woods to the back of the cabin. The sight sent a chill down her spine. No one had mentioned going out, and the tracks were fresh. She called out to her friends, but no one responded. Feeling uneasy, she stepped back inside to find her friends sitting around the living room, oblivious to what she had seen. "Did one of you go outside earlier?" she asked. Everyone shook their heads, exchanging puzzled glances. "Why?" her friend Mark asked. Rachel hesitated. "I saw footprints. They're leading to the back of the cabin." Her words wiped the smiles off their faces. Mark grabbed a flashlight, and together they went outside to investigate. The footprints were small, like those of a child, and they led to the kitchen window. But the snow around the window was undisturbed, and there were no return tracks leading away. The group tried to brush it off, convincing themselves it was a prank by a local kid. But Rachel couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Midnight came, and they celebrated half-heartedly, their earlier excitement dampened by unease. That night, as everyone slept, Rachel woke up to the sound of faint scratching at her bedroom door. Her heart raced as she lay frozen, listening. The scratching stopped, replaced by soft footsteps moving away. Summoning her courage, she opened the door to find the hallway empty. She walked to the living room, and that's when she saw it: a single muddy footprint on the wooden floor. The group left the cabin at dawn, cutting their trip short. Weeks later, Rachel discovered the cabin's dark history. A child had gone missing in the woods decades ago and was never found. Locals believed the child's spirit wandered the area, searching for warmth on cold nights. Rachel still wonders what would have happened if she had opened the door while the scratching continued. Before beginning the second story, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. Our second story is The Midnight Call for Mia. New Year's Eve was a working night. As an emergency dispatcher, she was used to handling frantic calls and staying composed under pressure. But nothing could have prepared her for the call she received that night. It was 11:55 p.m. when the phone rang. "911, what's your emergency?" Mia answered, her tone professional. The voice on the other end was shaky, almost whispering. "Please help me. He's inside the house." Mia's heart skipped a beat. "Ma'am, can you tell me your name and address?" she asked, quickly pulling up her notes. The caller's voice trembled. "My name is Sarah. I'm at 23 Maplewood Drive. Please hurry." Mia relayed the information to the police, her fingers flying over the keyboard. "Where in the house are you?" she asked. "I'm in the closet. I can hear him walking around downstairs," Sarah whispered. Mia tried to keep her calm. "Stay quiet and don't hang up. Officers are on their way." Suddenly, Sarah's breathing hitched. "He's coming up the stairs," she said, her voice barely audible. Mia's stomach twisted. She heard the faint creak of floorboards over the phone. Then silence. "Sarah?" Mia called out, but there was no response. The line went dead. The police arrived at the house minutes later, but what they found left them baffled. The house was empty, with no signs of forced entry or struggle. It looked abandoned, with a layer of dust coating the furniture. The officers reported back to Mia, who double-checked the address. It was correct. Confused, she decided to dig deeper. What she found sent shivers down her spine. 23 Maplewood Drive had been unoccupied for over a decade. The last resident, a young woman named Sarah, had been murdered in her home on New Year's Eve 10 years ago. Her killer was never caught. Mia couldn't sleep that night. She kept replaying the call in her mind, Sarah's desperate whispers and the ominous creak of footsteps. Had she spoken to a ghost? Or was there something more sinister at play? To this day, Mia avoids working on New Year's Eve, haunted by the call that blurs the line between the living and the dead. These chilling tales remind us that not all endings are happy, and not all new beginnings bring hope. Whether it's the lingering spirit of a lost child or a desperate cry from beyond the grave, these stories are a haunting testament to the mysteries that lurk in the shadows of the new year. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the macabre. If these stories sent shivers down your spine, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more terrifying tales. And remember, sometimes the past isn't as far behind us as we think. Happy New Year, and sleep tight.